So another Andy B 2-minute video, and I'm thinking about titles. Now I've used this idea of titles in the past. I've talked about how it can be quite problematic. I've talked about how it can be quite advantageous. And a lot of it is how a person with a title deals with that title and how helpful or relevant that having a title might be. In churches, it's quite good to know who's the vicar, who's in charge, who's the boss man, who do we know where to go. It's important to have that title, not because the title gives them any special qualities or special treatment, it should not. But it's good to know who is who. It's good to know who the health and safety person in a church is. Health and safety does matter. We shouldn't just yawn and roll our eyes and think, oh, what's going on? Actually, keeping people safe should be a foremost consideration for all Christians in all churches. It isn't something that should be relegated to the bottom somewhere of, well, we better do it. Actually, keeping people safe in a physically safe environment is the first step we should be doing. So titles can matter. Now, we're working on a new project as the Barry Bunch, which is quite exciting. I'm not going to say anything about that right now, but what I am going to say is we've assigned titles to ourselves. Now, I've never thought of myself as a CEO. I'm just a dad and we do a ministry and that's what we do. But recently, God's been revealing something that I've been struggling with is what is it exactly that I do? What am I? When someone says, Andy B, what are you? Well, I can reel off a list of things that I can do. I can talk about my relationship with God, but really most people, when we meet them for the first time, just want to know, what is it that we do? What's the bulk of our time spent doing? And I came up with this idea that I think has been inspired by God, that I'm a digital missionary. I work online, I work in radio, I work in videos, I do what I can, but it's always online and very rarely with people face to face. I miss that, I love that. But that's not what I'm called to do at this time. So I came up with this title of a digital missionary, which I think fits who I am and what it is I'm doing. Titles matter because as we're looking at this new project as a family, it's really great when a question comes up about how we're going to do something, we defer to the person whose title was responsible for that. So it might be to Stephen, or it might go to Nathan, or back to Joe, or to me, or whatever. Titles matter as long as we don't let it go to our ego. Don't ever think because you've got a title somehow you're better than somebody else. Titles are just a way of defining function. That's it. As CEO for this new project, I'm no more important than anybody else. But it does mean that certain things go through me that don't go to others. And it does mean that everything comes through one person who can say yes or no. So we can make the project move forward and see if this is really what God wants us to do. Titles matter. Don't ever let it go to your head. Just a thought.